Whoops, here it is. Maybe it's whole. It is an ink. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. Hey guys, Bob Lee here with Relic Rescue. I am in Palatka, Florida, standing across from the rectory of St. Monica's Catholic Church. This is a new permission where we will have the opportunity to metal detect and dig for old bottles. The building you see today is not the original structure which was built before the Civil War. To learn more about the fascinating history of this property, who lived here, and how it met its demise, we will need to chat with Palatka's most notable historian, Larry Beaton. Stay tuned. Larry Beaton is a fifth-generation Palatka resident and lives in this 1904 home built by his grandfather. In 2018, the Palatka City Commission designated Larry honorary historian for the city of Palatka. Let's go say hello. Hey Larry, how's it going?
Hey Bob, how are you doing today?
Great.
Good, come on in.
Well Larry, thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me. I know that Palatka's history and all that went on in the past to help shape it into what it is today is dear to your heart. So why don't we start here? Let's wind the calendar back to the Palatka in the pre-Civil War. How many people lived here? What did they do for a living?
The population was around 600 people. A lot of people they showed as laborers or farmers, which that kind of makes sense. The stage drivers, boatmen, ferrymen, carpenters, seamstresses, washwomen, wheelwrights, blacksmiths, school teachers, of course, public officials.
So let's go to the property, what is now the rectory of St. Monica's Catholic Church. And I know that this is special to you because you happen to be a parishioner of St. Monica's Catholic Church, probably since you were a young boy.
Absolutely.
And so tell me how that first house came to be built, who built it?
Captain Henry Alexander Gray was born in 1826 in Tattnall County, Georgia. So he moved here to Palatka. He married in 1857. Her name was Eliza Waddell Brown Gray, and they ended up having 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. And he built the house that's currently the location of the residence of the priest for St. Monica.
And what year was that?
We believe that that house was built sometime between 1857 and 1860.
Henry Gray seems to have been a man of position with the citizenry of Palatka. What can you tell me about that and his experiences during the Civil War?
I don't have a lot of details about his early life here in Palatka. When the Civil War broke out, he did enlist in the Confederacy, and I looked at those records, and he enlisted here at Palatka in October of 1861. He was promoted to captain in March of 1864.
He was in the most famous battle that occurred in the Civil War, at least in Florida.
He participated in the Battle of Olustee. It's kind of interesting that Colonel Dickinson, one of the more famous leaders of the Confederacy in this area,
Indeed,
didn't make it to Olustee. He was a little short time-wise.
A lot of these Civil War veterans, particularly in the Confederacy, when they came back home, there was nothing for them. Their homes had been burnt, razed, their crops were gone. How did Captain Gray fare?
Well, he fared pretty well. It's kind of interesting. His house was one of the few houses in Palatka that was actually damaged by gunfire from the Union. There were a lot of problems with the sharpshooters on the Confederate side taking pot shots at passing Union naval vessels. And apparently one day during the latter part of the war, someone was taking some shots at a passing Union vessel, and they returned fire with a cannonball, and it struck the front of Captain Gray's house just above the roof line of the first floor.
So that would be on the second story? Or?
Yes, that's correct. And Captain Gray left the damage in the house to show what damage that the Union naval forces had done during the war.
So Captain Gray becomes a captain for a steamboat here on the St. Johns River after the Civil War.
He had a boat built called the Marion that took cargo and passengers from Palatka up the Ocklawaha River to Silver Springs, and of course numerous ports along the way to deliver mail, deliver cargo and supplies, and to take people, to transport people. And this was in competition with Colonel Hart's Hartline boats. So Colonel Hart got in touch with Captain Gray, said that he would like to purchase his boat, the Marion, for $2,000, and also if he would agree to sell the boat, and he would hire him as a steamboat captain for the Hartline.
So he wanted to do away with the
He
competition.
was trying to eliminate the competition, yes.
And that journey you're talking about, which is quite famous here locally, but for those up north or not familiar with Northeast Florida, they may not be aware of it. But that was a true jungle journey back then, leaving Palatka, traveling 50 some odd miles up the Ocklawaha to Silver Springs and back.
That's right.
I mean, there was nothing there. It was a wilderness area.
Yeah, in the beginning, they would actually pass guns out to the tourists, and they were allowed to shoot the wildlife, and then they would have porters retrieve it, bring it back to Palatka, have a taxidermist mount it to carry back to the north for souvenir. They realized that they were decimating the wildlife population along the Ocklawaha, so that practice stopped in the 1880s, but the tours continued.
What caused the ultimate demise of the Gray House?
I was part of the volunteer fire department out at Sunny Heights, and the Palatka Fire Department received a call that the house was on fire. It had been abandoned, and the city of Palatka, because of the size of the house, requested mutual aid from our volunteer fire department. The house was totally involved. There was nothing to be saved, so they just used hose lines to protect the surrounding houses from burning.
And I'll bet you were particularly thankful that day that St. Monica's Church didn't also go up in flames.
Absolutely. Very concerned about the stained glass windows cracking from the heat.
I had not thought about that.
Yes.
Because it was right across the street. Well, listen, I thank you so much for your time, my friend.
You're very welcome, Bob.
Back on the rectory property, going to begin metal detecting and then digging for some bottles later on. I did want to explain that here in Palatka, most of the properties have been metal detected many, many times. And so I'm going into this thinking that the lot that's attached to the rectory has already been looked at pretty thoroughly. However, there's one little trick I can share with you that I've had some success at in metal detecting on properties that have already been hunted, and that's to hit the edge of the sidewalk. And so when I start, I'm going to go right down the edge of the sidewalk first before I go anywhere else. And for some reason, folks kind of don't get as tight as they should into the edge, or perhaps there's some rebar there. But that's what I'm going to try first. I'm using a Minelab 800. There are 8 different settings. I've got it set on field 1 and maximum sensitivity right there. And I've got it on iron discrimination. As far as the iron discrimination goes, I know it'll still reveal a big piece of metal in the ground, and I'm always interested if there's a lot of metal because it could reveal a historic trash dump, thus old bottles. I've got kind of a weak signal, but it's clear and repeatable left and right. If I move it up ahead a little bit, I lose the signal. I move it back, I lose the signal. That tells me it's small, maybe up in the copper range. Nope, that's not it, just an old nail. Come on. Oh, there it is. Sweet. And that we have an 1897 Indian head penny. Now I've cleaned it up pretty good on my pants. I think that's a good start, and I swear I've only gone 20 feet. Okay, I've only gone about 10 more feet. Got a small repeatable signal. I'll move out in front of it. It fades. Behind, fades. It sounds solid. Let's have a look. See what we got. Seems to be kind of shallow. Feels, oh, I like that. Solid lead. Looks like a round ball to me. It's mangled, but I believe that's what it is. I'd say 60 plus caliber. Maybe it came from the Civil War or the Second Seminole War. Either way, it's a keeper. So this is interesting. I got a good solid hit with the metal detector. Got some metal down about maybe 12, 15 inches. Looks like I'm coming to a bottle. Gonna get it out of the ground and see what we got. Okay, the metal's right in here. I kind of think it's just a big hunk, but right here, I'm coming up to a bottle. If this thing is whole, it'll be a miracle. And this is almost underneath the sidewalk, but the history in this area goes way back. Maybe it's embossed. So far, it doesn't look that way. This bottle, it might be intact. It sure might. And it's, oh, it's a square. I thought it was a flat panel. Medicine at first, or druggist. I started out today, I didn't think I'd be digging bottles. I do plan on probing this yard, but you know, my mama used to say, he's never looked a gift horse in the mouth. And I'm not. Feels like it's whole because I'm not even beginning to loosen it up yet. This took a little doing. It was really wedged in there up underneath, almost to the edge of the sidewalk. I got it loose now. Oh my goodness. That is a golden oldie. And it is a, oh, it is got some embossing. Yes. It is Obelisk brand. Oh, I'm excited. This is excellent. Oh, there's a flash crack. But you know what? Oh, there's a nick. But I don't have one like it. I'm going to keep it. And it's unbelievable that it's even in that good a shape, considering it is almost right under where they built a sidewalk. And it's definitely blown in the mold. The seam stops right in here. Probably 1890-ish, 1880s. Yeah, about that. I think this may be one of those where I'll let it return to the earth. It is a big hunk of metal. This was below the bottle. Therefore, it has to be as old as the bottle, to me anyway. But it's not a cannon or an artillery piece or a musket. And that's what I'm really interested in, because I'm not passing up on any metal today. I've moved into the center of the yard, got a good strong hit of metal that was down fairly deep. As I was digging, I came up with this bottle top. It is blown in the mold. And then as I dug a little bit deeper, I'm coming up to what I think may be a bottle. I'm not sure, probably not intact, but I'm gonna try to give you a good camera shot and we'll see what we come up with. So what I got right here, it may be, I'll be honest with you, I can't tell what it is. It's, oh, it's not, it looked like the rim of a bottle. This is a lamp top. Oh, and it's, you know what, that is in great condition. Almost all the ones I've ever found have been all mashed up and bent from having been disced over so many times. Oh, I've just punched a hole in it with my finger. Bob, what are you doing? That's in good shape. I just got to be careful because that brass gets kind of fragile after a while. Okay, I'm going to put the camera down. I'm going to clean it up. Well, I've been gone for a few minutes. Had to do some serious cleaning and research on this brass top to a kerosene lamp. There is a patent date on the thumb dial. Well, I've got a magnifying glass with me. I'm going to try to give you a close-up. If you look at the bottom of the thumb dial, you'll see 1683. What that means is January 16th, 1883. Part of it missing, but it reflects on the life of Captain Gray. Okay, same hole. I've got something else. It's kind of round. Not sure what it is. That, well, is that another? Oh, that's another top to a kerosene lamp. Except that this one looks like it's even in better condition. That is awesome. I mean, absolutely awesome. Two in the same hole. Before we move on, I wanted to show you what it looked like cleaned up. On the thumb dial, there is the name of the manufacturer, B&B Company, New York. On the thumb dial, no patent date that I can see so far. It really is in good condition. There is a top piece here that the wick fed through. You can see where it's threaded, and I actually may have another one at the house that I found at a home site about 20 miles from here that could fit on there and make a complete piece. Way cool. Decided I'd go back and dig next to the hole I dug where I found that pickle bottle the other day. Couldn't get it out of my head. I just thought that there, you know, maybe there's something else down there, and I'm fixing to dig something out. Don't know what it is. It looks like a bottle. So this is it. Looks like the base of a bottle. I don't know. It might be an ink. I am not sure. It's going to require, there's a piece of brick here. Whoops, here it is. Maybe it's whole. It is an ink. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. It's an ink. Yes, indeedy. I am liking that. And I'm also excited because if I found two bottles here, could mean this is a historic trash dump right on the edge of this sidewalk. So I've cleaned it up a little bit for you. There is no embossing. I'm trying to follow the seam up. Looks like it stops right here on the edge of the lip. I am reasonably confident this one is blown in the mold, particularly when you look at the edge of that lip. It's uneven. Golly, I'm liking this. My son's coming over this morning from Gainesville. Thought I needed a little bit of backup. He knows his way around a shovel because he owns a landscaping company. What we're going to do this morning is that I'm going to check out some areas I've already dug some test holes in, and also the one spot that you already saw me recover the pickle bottle and the ink well. The pickle bottle I found right there. The ink well I found here. So when my son gets here, we're going to dig out this area right here next to the sidewalk and see what we can find. Number two spot will be over here at the peg with the green survey tape. So I dug a test hole here the other day, went down 2.5 feet, found what looked like a wall of bricks, kind of sliding down and going this way. Think it might be a privy. We're going to be digging that out, probably a 4-foot diameter hole. If that doesn't work, we're going to move over to this site. I dug a test trench, came around over here, and ran into a layer of broken bricks about 10 inches down, right where the peg is with the orange survey tape. And on top of those bricks, I found this bottle top. So I want to know what's underneath the bricks. Okay, we're still at the sidewalk. I got my son Jason with me. As you can tell, he's an earth moving machine. Say hi, Jason.
Hello.
The only thing we've come up with so far is part of a broken lamp globe and some dish shards. We are about ready to give up on this hole, and I think we're going to move on to the next prospect. All right, my son's still digging, and he found this bottle top. Looks like black glass to me. I think it's very, very old. I wish we had got the complete bottle, but oh well. We're going to keep going in this direction and see what we come up with. Okay, we're still at the sidewalk hole. My son tells me he thinks he's got a bottle. I was about ready to give up on this place. There it is. It's looking good, son. Looks like it's intact. snatch it out of there. Oh man, beautiful. Go ahead and rub it off. I was gonna say it's a pickle, but it looks bigger than the one I pulled out the other day. See if there's any embossing on the sides. Beautiful, looks all intact. Yeah, maybe have a little chip on the lip, but not much. Is there any embossing?
I don't see any.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, no, I feel something. No.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna rub the dirt off. So apparently it looks like we've gotten to a trash dump. There is just a little nick right here on it. This is my son's first bottle, so it's intact. Still think it's some kind of a condiment jar, but in any case, very cool. My son's still digging. He's come up with some interesting items. Pieces of plate, actually a plate broken in half, cast iron pan. So now he thinks he's got at least one bottle. Nice. It's a flat panel druggist bottle. It's aqua. Any embossing?
I don't think so.
It's all right. Let's see if there's anything on the bottom. Can't see anything. Looking at the sides. Thought it might be a castor oil. That's nice. It's intact. It is, it's blown on the mold. It's got a crude lip on it. Well, Jason's finishing up our last hole. We've dug 4 holes, and the only bottles we came up with were out of the sidewalk trash pit. Dug out a huge number of bricks. This is what we ended up with. Jason got his first 2 bottles, and he's going to take them home, clean them up, and maybe put them on display in his office. I'll be back another day. I'll explain to you what's going on. I hit a big metal target with my metal detector, started digging, came up with what looks to be an old rusted bolt of no real value. And then I've got a big pan here. Not sure what to make of this. It's cast iron, and I find things like this all the time. Maybe not quite this large, but I have no idea what it was used for, but it is a big hunk of metal. So we'll see what else we got in this hole. I wasn't expecting this. Looks like a giant spike, maybe a ship spike. Try to get a little closer for you. And if you look close, it looks like this is a rose head. In other words, the sides are almost faceted, which is an indicator it could be very old, perhaps the Civil War. I think that's a keeper. Dug a little deeper, and look what I found. It is the base and upper sides of a very old bottle. It is pontled, pre-Civil War. I'm pretty confident. Looks like black glass. Let me get it up here so you can see it a little better. Right there. This tells me that this is likely one of the earliest dump sites on the property. Perhaps when Captain Gray first built the house in 1857. If I could have gotten this one whole, that would have been probably the best bottle I've ever found. I'll let you get a look at the hole I just covered up, because you always need to try to make it at least as good, if not better, than the way you found it. So this is the hole. I've raked it over and did not find much more, except for some more shards from that pontled bottle and a little bit of plate wear, maybe the globe from a lamp. Beautiful. Father Ron, on behalf of the viewers and myself, I want to thank you for allowing us to dig in your backyard and to discover relics from the Gray House. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much, Bob. This is a thrill that you came here. Our history at St. Monica's goes way back, 1858, but actually before that, even before that, for history that goes from the beginning of the St. Johns River being like the lifeline of this community. Thank you so much for the ability to look more into our history. And if you want to learn more about St. Monica's in this church building from 1899, simply just Google us or go on Facebook, and just remember St. Monica's in Palatka.